Have you ever sat alone in silence and felt it wasn't empty at all? We live in a world addicted to noise, constant messages, opinions, arguments, updates. Our phones buzz. Our minds race. Our words overflow. But silence is the forgotten teacher. Silence is your master. Silence is power, and if you master it, silence can get you everything in life. When you gain control, when you stay quiet, you control the situation, your thoughts and your responses. To listen more, silence makes you a better listener, and true understanding begins with listening. Become unpredictable. People can't read you when you don't reveal your next move. To avoid conflict, fewer words mean fewer chances to say something you'll regret. To earn respect, those who speak less but act with intention are the ones people admire. You observe clearly. Silence allows you to see what others are doing, not just what they claim. Build mystery. The less you speak, the more curious people become about you. And here comes the most important part. True strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the silence that commands the loudest respect. It's the moment between two heartbeats. The breath before we speak. The space where truth hides. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of meaning. Today, let's explore silence, not as something missing, but as something magnificent. The silence that heals. The silence that teaches. The silence that changes lives. Welcome to the power of silence. As children, we are taught how to speak, but never how to be silent. We learn how to argue, how to express, how to fill every empty space with words. But nobody teaches us the art of listening. Silence is not just the absence of words, it is the beginning of understanding. Think about it. When a friend pauses before speaking, that silence holds emotion. When two people argue, that silence afterward holds truth. Sometimes, silence says what words cannot. I miss you. I'm sorry. I understand. These feelings live not in what we say, but in what we don't. In the language of life, silence is the punctuation, the comma, the pause, the breath that gives meaning to everything else. Great leaders, monks, and thinkers understood this. Gandhi practiced a day of silence every week. He said, in the attitude of silence, the soul finds the path in clearer light. Because in silence, we see who we truly are. Silence can heal relationships, or destroy them. Imagine a couple in argument. Words fly like arrows, louder and louder, until they stop. There's a long pause. Both breathe. Both realize, silence is not defeat. Silence gives space for understanding, for humility, for love to return. But silence can also hurt, when it becomes avoidance, when people stop communicating out of pride or fear. So what kind of silence do we carry in our relationships? The peaceful silence that listens, or the painful silence that distances? The difference lies in intention. To listen in silence is love. To punish in silence is ego. Sometimes, when someone cries, don't offer advice. Don't search for words. Just sit beside them. Because your quiet presence speaks the language of empathy. Remember this, in arguments, silence is not the weapon of the weak. It is the tool of the wise. Now, let's travel inside, into the mind. Our thoughts never stop talking, do they? We replay old memories. We worry about tomorrow. We keep talking to ourselves, louder and louder, until we can't hear our soul. That's why silence is anyone can speak. Few can stay silent with grace. Think of the mountain, silent, yet powerful. Think of the ocean, vast, yet calm on the surface. True power doesn't need to shout. True confidence doesn't need to prove. The wise remain silent not because they have nothing to say, but because they know not everything deserves a reaction. Remember, silence is not surrender. It's self-control. It's emotional intelligence. It's wisdom in motion. When you master silence, you master yourself. In the final silence, at the end of life, what remains? Not the noise, not the arguments, not the applause. What remains is peace. Have you ever stood in nature, on a mountain, by the sea, in the stillness of dawn, and felt small but infinite? That is the sound of your soul speaking. Silence is the space where love breathes, where forgiveness grows, where life whispers its final truth. You don't need to say everything to mean something. Silence teaches humility. It reminds us we are part of something larger, something sacred. When you sit in silence, you reconnect with yourself, with others, with existence. So listen to the sound of your breath, to the stillness between words, to the quiet moments that define your life. Because sometimes, the loudest lessons are learned in silence. The power of silence. May you find peace in your quiet moments.